We're going to look at the Retekess portable emergency radio. This is an AM/FM shortwave radio with 60 station presets, and this one's powered by AA batteries. The previous model I reviewed, this is the model V111. The previous model that I reviewed was a rechargeable version that had MP3 playback and everything. This one here is just a radio, no MP3 playback, AM/FM shortwave, powered by 2 AA batteries. So let's load the batteries. Do not use a new and old battery. I might be in for some problems here because these batteries are definitely not new. And they're different brand. Well, I think they're the same brand, they're just different ages. So first thing you do, or first thing you see when you power it up, is you see the time. On the side there's a power on-off switch, so you can lock it out so that it can't accidentally be turned on. And there's also a standard micro USB 5-volt input so that you can power the radio from mains power using your standard USB charger type. Frequency coverage 64 to 108 megahertz FM. Medium wave is 522 to 1620 kilohertz, and shortwave 3.2 to 21.9 megahertz. It's a DSP type radio, so there's not going to be any IF coils or anything in it. It's all digital processed. We're going to take this one apart and take a look at it in a minute. And also included in the package is a pair of earbuds. It would be stereo. It's going to be stereo for sure for FM. And here's the earbuds, and it comes with a couple of little foam pads. I'm sure that the earbuds themselves are probably pretty cheap, but you could use any, just a standard 3.5 millimeter stereo plug, so any headphones are going to work. And then you'll get stereo sound. It is stereo, see, FM stereo. So through the speaker it's going to be mono, through the headphones it's going to be stereo. When you turn off the power switch, it'll actually turn off the clock display to lock it out. So to set the time when the radio is powered off, long press the time SW button, and it'll turn on the clock display. It'll turn it on flashing, and then just set the time using the hours and minutes button. So I'll set it to 5:16 p.m. and I went too far, so I've got to go all the way around again. 5:17 in a few seconds here. There we go, 5:17. And then press the button, the time button again, and now the clock is set. It does have a light, so you can see it in the dark. The light stays on for 5 seconds. And that's basically how to set it. Got 2 sets of buttons here for volume up and down and tuning up and down, memory buttons, and a favorite button. So to set the stations, if we turn on the power, press and hold the power button, there we go, and it turns it on. And then the volume buttons, we can tune the stations, press and hold, and it'll scan to the next station. There's my test station, so we'll save this channel in, and I'll go through and I'll save all of the memories. To set the memory, press the memory button and it'll give you a location. See the location there? I want to store this into memory location 1, and then press the memory button again, and now this one's stored in location 1. If I press and hold the memory button, it will now start scanning all of the FM channels and lock in all of the stations that it will receive. I was on the Russian band, that's why it's scanning down at like the 60 and 70 megahertz. It has expanded coverage for all the different bands that are worldwide. Now it'll start picking up our stations. There we go, memory 1. And then the next one it'll find will be memory 2, and it'll just go through and lock all the stations in this way. As you can see, it's now storing all of the local stations. Now I don't want this because there's a lot of stations that are, in Chinese or Punjabi or French. I don't want them, so I'm going to go back and I'll show you how to do it manually, just so that you can store just the stations that you want to store. To set your favorite station, tune your station in, press and hold the favorite button. Now that's your instant recall. So doesn't matter what station you're on, press the favorite button, it'll return to your preset station. So if you have a station that you want to set for news, for example, you can always find that station immediately by just pressing a button and not having to scroll through your memory stations that you've set up. I want to set the memory channels manually, as I said before. Press the memory, select your memory button, and press memory again. And that'll store that one in memory 1. Dial in your next station. Press memory, and it'll go to the next memory location. It's stored into number 2 now. When I press the memory button, every time I press the memory button, it will switch. So if I want to store the third one, this way I can pick only the stations I want to store. I don't necessarily want to store foreign language stations or stations that are too weak to pick up. So I can scan the stations I want. Memory. 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 Just press the memory twice, right? Press and hold. Scan to the next one. Press the memory twice. I don't want that station. I want this one. Don't want the French channel.
The sound quality off the built-in speaker is what you would expect from a transistor radio. My other one has a much better speaker, the V111. This one here, it's what you expect from a small speaker, which is adequate for listening to the news or anything else you might in an emergency.
Rather than letting it pick every station on the auto scan, just because there are some stations that I'll never ever listen to because I don't speak Punjabi or French, and I don't necessarily want the Christian station. So I guess that's pretty much it. So that's the stations I want for FM. Now if I just press the memory button, every time I press the memory button, it will cycle through the stations that I set. I can do the same thing for the AM station. So I've got 15 FM stations locked in. If I go over to medium wave, this is the AM band. What do we do here? There we go. And I can do the same for the AM stations. I can cycle this through. Don't want that one. I do want 650 though. Did I just overwrite my... Okay, so the AM band has its own memories as well. Because when I'm on FM, my memories are still there, right? Go back to AM, gotta wait for the display to reset. And now I go to medium wave. So now I can save my AM stations as well. So search out the next one. Memory. Done the same way.
The sound quality off the built-in speaker is what you would expect from a transistor radio. My other one has a much better speaker, the V111. This one here, it's what you expect from a small speaker.
No, don't want that one. Don't want that one either. And I do want that one. Now, the shortwave band, I don't expect I'll pick up anything other than maybe some harmonics from my little transmitter because it's turned on. But I don't expect to pick up anything on shortwave right now because it's daytime. So I wouldn't even expect I'll get WWV because I tried it on my ham set and it's really noisy right now. So at night, this should pull in some shortwave stations. No, I can't even pick up WWV, but again, I don't expect to. Not during the day. There's too much noise on the shortwave band, but it does cover all the popular shortwave bands. There's 7 of them. You can see. But for AM and FM, the batteries aren't very good on here. They're weak. These are old batteries.
Take a step on the Main Street exit to southbound Ironworkers, and if you're an your claim, it's time to call Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE or...
Press and hold the power button. I guess, yeah, that turns it off. Let's pop this thing apart and take a look at the actual electronics. Now, of course, I know there's going to be questions. People are going to say, well, who needs a radio? What the hell do you need a radio for? I got my phone. I can get everything I want on my phone. Well, in an emergency, you won't be using your phone. The cellular network that provides you all those streaming services won't be available in an emergency. And most phones don't have an FM chip. Some Android phones do. And if you plug in headphones, you can get local stations on them, but most of them do not. Okay, here's the inside of this radio. Not a heck of a lot to see, right? You got an FM antenna, and you've got a little ferrite bar antenna for AM. I would imagine the shortwave antenna is also through there. Let's lift out the circuit board so we can see the electronics. There's going to be just a couple chips on this thing guaranteed because it's a DSP radio, so there's not going to be any IF transformers or coils or anything like that that can go out of alignment, because this is all done digitally. Probably pop off when I lift the board out. There we go. So what do we reveal when we turn over the board? We reveal some tactile switches, a little regulator, a couple of ICs, and a display. Not a heck of a lot. Not like the old radios that were full of IF transformers and diodes and transistors. Nope, not anymore. Everything's all in one chip now. Pretty simple. A pretty simple little gadget. But something that probably everybody should have. Even if you only need it at one time when there's a power failure and your phone is dead, or in the event of an emergency such as a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake, where you need to get information and all the traditional ways of doing it are offline. You can't beat having just a basic little radio. Magnets. Fun with magnets. I can just see them at the factory cursing the speaker when they're putting the screws in, right? That's about it. Basic little radio. AM, FM shortwave. Runs on a couple AA batteries. So you load this amp with batteries and put it away for when you might need it, and know that it's going to be ready to go when and if you need it. Because AA batteries are going to last for years. Most of them will sit, they'll retain their charge for upwards of 10 years if you've got the main power turned off, which is what that switch on the side is for. So you can shut the main power off so that your batteries are not being discharged when you're not using the radio. That way it keeps them fresh for when you need it. So I plugged it into an external amplifier just so you can hear the stereo sound.
Way home care. They didn't just look after her, they talked to her. My wife, and then everything changed in the blink of it.
Keep BC healthy and safe through the pandemic. It's as important as ever that workers and employers stay
Anyway, that's a little demonstration of the quality of the sound when hooked up to an external system or headphones. One thing I didn't mention is it's a world band radio, so you can take it anywhere. It'll cover all the FM bands. So when you press the FM key, FM is divided into 3 bands. So your standard North American band is band number 1. Band number 2 is the Russian band, and that covers 64 to 108. Band 1 is 87 to 108. Band 2 is 64 to 108, and band 3 is 76 to 90 megahertz, which is the Japanese band. So we go to that one there, and there's, it'll only cover, when I scan, it'll only cover the Japanese band. Memory number 2 will cover 64 through to 108, and band 1 is North American band, which is 88 or 87 actually. Yeah, 87 to 108. So it's the three bands indicated by the band indicator when you press the button. Anyway, thanks for watching. Link is in the description. This is the Retekess V111 FM stereo AM shortwave DSP receiver. Thanks for watching.